To coverage of Your Voice, Your Vote. It's Selection Eve for Wisconsin's February primary, but without a statewide race on the ballot tomorrow, some voters won't have a reason to show up at polling places. Chief political reporter Jason Zimmerman explains why. He is live in the newsroom. Jason.
Cami, the vast majority of polling places across northeast Wisconsin will not be open tomorrow since there's not enough candidates running in local, municipal, judicial, or school board races, meaning voters don't need to narrow down the list of options ahead of the April 7th general election. But that's not the case everywhere. In Brown County, half of De Pere's polling locations and more than half of Green Bay's will have races on the ballot. Voters in Outagamie County can stay home since none of their polling places will be open. And in Winnebago County, all 10 polling locations in the city of Oshkosh, plus 6 other municipalities, will be open because of a school board primary race. That's just 16 out of what would be 41 if all polling locations were open countywide, about 39%. And there's just one race on the ballot in Fond du Lac County, and that's in the town of Fond du Lac.
Statewide, the only county of the 72 counties is Dane County that has a full county election. Otherwise, it's spotty in all other 71 counties. And there are some counties that have no primary at all. So that is very confusing for the voters.
The best way to find out what's on your ballot tomorrow is to go to myvote.wi.gov and enter in your address. Cami, back to you.